Hello and welcome to today's video. Today's video is really for everyone who is on the holistic path. And I'm talking a little bit today about the things that you give up when you get on the holistic journey. So, hi, I am Tammy Coyne, your holistic alchemist, helping you change pain into possibilities and possibilities into purpose. I upload content around holistic healing and personal development every Tuesday and Thursday. And on Saturdays, I upload the Holistic Path podcast, where I have unscripted conversations with other people on the holistic path about mind, body, spirit, and entrepreneurship. Please subscribe to the channel and like as many videos as you can. It really does help get this going. So thank you to reach more of us. So thank you so much. A little bit about my history and why in the world you would listen to me. Well, first of all, I came from a severe history of trauma, abuse, and loss, and I have gone through a profound spiritual awakening in 2014 and gotten to the other side of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, how did I get there? Well, it was by being on the holistic path. It was making some decisions that got me from where I was living a throughout my life, very dysfunctional, very painful, um, you name it, sort of life, to completely reimagining the life that I wanted to live. And the clients and the other holistic practitioners that I know and work with, we all started somewhere similar on this journey. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that I've given up on the journey and what happens when you do. And maybe some things some other people have given up. So let's see. I've got a few different things here. So one is we start to look at the ways that we do things, the old ways. Um, and I don't mean the old ways as in ancestors' ancient wisdom. I mean the old ways from our life that no longer serves us. We begin to literally look at our lives from mind, body, spirit, maybe environment, relationships, jobs. I mean, there's all kinds of areas like us as the whole person, my human experience, what is in my human experience that no longer serves where I'm going. Like, this just doesn't work for me anymore. And it could be anything. So let me see, I jotted down a couple of things and I may just throw some others in there as we go. And these are in no particular order, although I had attempted to put them in kind of an alphabetical order, but it really doesn't matter. Let's say alcohol. We'll start off with alcohol. There may be some on the holistic path or spiritual path, who drink alcohol. Some do not. Um, some have made the decision to walk completely away from alcohol as a way to cleanse their body from toxins. Also, as you get further into the journey, you may start to learn about spiritual attachments and when and how you can pick up spiritual attachments. And it often happens when your defenses are down, when your spiritual immunity is down. And so alcohol, and what do they call alcohol? Spirits. So just is a place to, perhaps you may find that over time on this journey that it's something you want to walk away from. Diet Coke was one of the ones for me. My favorite thing in the whole world. Uh, and yeah, I made a decision to walk away from it. So that was something that I chose to go away from. Smoking, cigarettes. Now, I actually got in a situation where I was kind of forced to quit smoking. This was back in 2002. So it was part of my journey, but I didn't know it was part of my journey at that time. Okay. Chemicals, chemicals in general. So we've already talked a little bit about alcohol. We've talked about Diet Coke. We've talked about cigarettes, chemicals, right? But chemicals are in other things. So you begin to think about the chemicals in the food that you eat, the chemicals in the drinks that you drink. You begin to think about anything that you ingest. Then you begin to think about things that you put on your body. You may notice that I typically have makeup on. Today, I don't have makeup on. I'm going to talk about makeup in a little bit. So, chemicals, where are you putting a toxic load on your body? What about chemicals in clothing? What about chemicals in your bedding? Excuse me. What about chemicals in or energy, like in your phone? What about chemicals in what you're breathing in? Say if you're in a work environment with a lot of chemicals. So you can go down all kinds of rabbit holes when you are holistically healing. And I will tell you from experience, they can cause you to almost shut down because then you go from really being unconscious to all of these things to being very conscious about everything, which can sometimes lead to in post-traumatic stress, you have flight, and often people have this even if they don't have PTSD, but fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Well, all of this can create fear and it can create a freeze response. So please be mindful when you're on the holistic path that sometimes you just got to go say, damn, get off me. I just need to live for a minute. And when you're ready, take a particular area and start to notice. Let's say if nutrition, as an example, is a place you want to start, you might start by reading labels. You might start by getting a feel for what is actually in the ingredient label. If you're eating something that comes out of, let's say, a can or a box, you begin to start noticing that and saying, well, I wonder what this ingredient is. And if you don't recognize the ingredient, could be a good indicator of maybe something you may want to move away from. Not always, though. So take a look. The point of this being is you can get super, super overwhelmed when you start going down these rabbit holes. So it's really important to take a step back and say, okay, so for today, maybe I'm going to look at my shampoo. Okay, I don't think I'm pleased with these ingredients in my shampoo. Maybe I'm going to upgrade the ingredients in my shampoo and start using something else and not even considering other areas of your life. Do you see what I'm saying with that? Because I promise you, this can sneak up on you and get you really, really overwhelmed more than once when you realize how much toxicity you've actually been putting into your body that nobody ever told you. Okay. Food. We've talked a little bit about food. It's important to understand when to buy organic. When can you maybe skip that? It's important to understand things like BPA. It's important to understand things like GMO. It's important to understand what natural means, when it's actually natural or when it's become a marketing buzzword. So that can, again, some things to pay attention to. Okay, makeup. So my largest program is called Unboxing Your Authentic Self. And that's really when people are doing a deep dive with me one-on-one. And I am working with them on whatever comes up. So there have been times where I have seen women get a little bit stuck on makeup. Am I being authentic if I wear makeup versus not? So my answer to that is, what is your intention for wearing makeup? If you are wearing it because somehow when you look in the mirror, you don't feel good enough, and you think by putting all of this stuff on your face, it makes you enough, that's something to consider. That might be a place that you can look to unbox. If you are someone who goes, ah, I cannot go outside without makeup. Okay, that's an area to look at. However, if you're someone who says, and this is where I am, I'm 59. Do I look better with makeup on? Probably. Do I look better to myself with makeup on? Yeah, probably, but I'm okay either way. Like, I'm not going to have a full-on meltdown if I don't have makeup on. I'm actually okay, and went for years without wearing makeup at all. So, what do I do if I want to wear makeup? First of all, I recognize that I feel better about myself maybe when I wear makeup on, and it isn't because I'm hiding. I actually wear some pretty natural looking makeup, and I feel like it helps to sort of even out my skin and maybe give me a little bit of a fresher look. And so I like that. And that's for me. It's not about hiding. It's not anything about hiding. And I don't feel lost if I don't wear it. Now, if I'm going to wear makeup, like the camera that does the weird thing, if I'm going to wear makeup, I really do like to look for clean ingredients. Now, that takes a while. And again, this is a place that can be super, super overwhelming, but it's where I'm at now. So I am not going to um, go and purchase makeup, say, from the grocery store or from the dollar store or something like that. So it can get a little more pricey when you start going down the holistic path. But again, it's pricey on the price tag. But when you look at how much healthier you become overall when you get these chemicals and toxins out of your body, then it sort of balances out. Medications. This is always a good controversial one. Um, I do not take medications. I do not take prescription medication. I do not take over-the-counter medication. I use one specific brand of essential oils. And if I am going to take something like a supplement or something like that, I look for very clean quality, high quality ingredients in something like that. I walked away from pharmaceuticals in probably 2014 completely. And since 2014, let's see, this 10 years, I have probably had maybe 4 prescriptions in that 10-year period. And those were when an urgent emergent situation happened. Now, the other thing to know is when I started on this path and really started healing, the amount of urgent emergent situations I had with my health began to decrease. So, relationships. Ooh, this one can be challenging. When you are on a holistic path, spiritual path, healing path, a personal development path, you may start to find that you begin to change and no one else does. And with that, you may find that relationships that you've had for years no longer work. Could be friends, could be family, could be coworkers, could be romantic, whatever. They no longer work for you, and you may find yourself walking away from them. And you may find them walking away from you. There was a period of time on my healing journey where people started leaving my life in droves. And I really didn't understand what was happening at that point. They might have left either because they said, I'm leaving. They may have passed away. They may have just ghosted me. They may have just disappeared for whatever reason, or something caused our relationship to change. And at first, again, the human experience teaches us like, oh, well, gosh, what's happening? And, we get, kind of worked up about these things. What I realized over time is as I was beginning to heal, as I was continuing to up-level my life and go through what's called ascension symptoms when you're after spiritual awakening, your vibration changes, your energetic vibration changes. And so you're no longer a match with people that you used to match with. So something to pay attention to. So these are just some ideas of things to think about as you're on this holistic path, and the rabbit holes you can go down, and the things that you may lose from your life. And I don't want to say lose. Let's not say lose, because I often believe if you lose something, you need to go and find it. These are things that you release. These are things that you realize are no longer in service of you, or they're no longer in service of the you that you are becoming. And so it's important to think about, no matter what you're doing, when you know where you're headed, or you have an idea of where you're headed or where you want to go in this life of more for yourself, you begin to look at things and say, is this part of my new life? Is this where I'm actually going? Is this behavior or person or action or thing, is this part of the life that I'm building for myself? And if the answer is no, that's a good indicator that it may be time to make a change. So, yeah, I think that's it. So I'd really like to know what you think about this. This was, I always record for Thursday, but this was sort of an impromptu topic that was on my mind today. And I'd love to know what you think about that. For YouTube videos, you really have to do a lot of things to get people to even know that there's a video there. And yet I find that I feel very in a box creating video content like that. It's not who I am, and it's not how I live. And I much prefer to not have notes. I much prefer to just speak from my heart. And I had a little bit of notes here that I could just kind of glance at, but I don't want to feel that I have to follow some sort of box because I just don't live in a box anymore. So anyway, thanks for watching. Really, seriously, thanks for watching. And I really do love comments. If you would comment, I'd love to know. I don't care what the comments are. Now, if you're unkind, or if you are no, that's kind of it. If you're unkind to me or someone in the comments, I will put a stop to that. But everyone else, I'd love to know how you're doing on this journey. Like, it is freaking hard sometimes, especially when you start changing and nobody else is, right? So again, this is Tammy Coyne, your holistic alchemist, helping you change pain into possibilities and possibilities into purpose. And it's much easier for me to help you do that when I know what kind of pain you're having or what kind of purpose you want to get to. And then I can make content around things that are specific to you. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.